Welcome to the Hampshire 1900 start for Workers and Resources Soviet Republic, and it's about I think 4 months on from the end of the last part. You see the snow's still on the ground for a reason which I'll explain in a little while. That's also why the game is on pause, but as usual before we get started, big thank you for your comments and feedback. You guys give me a lot to think about. And in this part, well, what I want to do is try and catch up on some of the backlog of work that we've got to do, and also I want to start planning some kind of construction industry in this area, but I don't think it's going to be particularly that efficient, but we'll come back to that. But the first thing, and the reason the game's on pause, the reason we're playing in the snow, is the fact that what I've done since the end of the last part is I've built a couple of these sweepers, and as you can see here, we'll just let the game run fast, there's no point. And what I've got here, and you can see that when you build these road sweepers, they actually clear a circle. But the trouble is they take 10 workers and they do collect a tiny amount of gravel over time. And I've got another one up here. And so I've really built these as an example. But to be honest, at the moment, these don't really have much impact on the vehicles. But what I'm considering is that maybe we can use them a bit more over here, because we are going to move to faster trucks in this area. Although at the moment, oh wow, I'm running out of money again. That's good old steel. We've got some research just finished. We might as well look at that while we're at it. And we're just going to do dry dock designs. There's nothing else now. We're running out. Basically, we're now running out of research to do. We've also got over 21s, so I need to find somewhere to suck these over 21s up. I think what we will do is get, because in some ways I'd rather have them in our economy, even if they're just kind of being a bit of a pain in the neck. I mean, we could put a sweeper here to keep this junction clear. Of course, in the last part we planned our food and farm up here, which we need to bring online. But the most important thing that we need to do is get more oil, because at the moment we're losing money because we're not really using our oil refinery here at maximum capacity, and there's no point putting extra workforce in because they've already got it. One change I have made since the end of the last part is I've shoehorned in another pump jack here. It's only about 20% efficient, but if we can build this in and get this up and running, and what it will mean is that we can get a little bit more oil flowing into here. Now, one thing I want to mention is that when you kind of shoehorn in these pump jacks, but you've got to have these finished to get an accurate kind of reading, and probably try and explain it. You can, well, this is now. But say, for example, we come out here, we've got oil here. Now, at the moment, these are overlapping. So if I put another oil pump jack in there at the moment, it says 35%, it says 40, 41, 42%. But because this overlaps two other ones which haven't been built, that may not give an accurate reading. So what you've got to do is build your primary pumps first and then shoehorn in these. But if you've got the capacity, which is a mistake I made here, is I didn't leave the pipe connection. So what I've had to do is put another pump in here. And what that pump will do is it will give a connection going out that way. And what I've had to do, if we go underground, you can see I've kind of jiggery pokered this in here. But it does mean that we've got a spare connection here. But I don't think we've got any oil here. Let's have a look, see if we got any potential. We got potential oil in the center, but I think that's just kind of spinning a tail. Anyway, so what I need to do is try and prioritize this, but of course we're running out of money. Now I'm going to just take out my third loan. Economy, because what I did during the winter, because I was pushing the oil, we're going to have to take out another loan, borrow money. And you can see the game is warning us that we still got money there. Then we got 41,000. I'm going to push this up to about 250. And I'm going to push the duration up to 2 years again. Why have I got the 10,000 loan? We're going to repay this one. I'm not actually sure where I got 10,000. I think I might have clicked on the loan by accident. 936. I'm going to pay that. And we're going to pay this one back as well. 9,945. And that leaves us with 228. Not exactly sure where the 10,000 came from, but it's very important in this game, if you don't want to lose control of your loans, is always have one loan. So if you've got an outstanding loan, borrow the amount of money you need plus the amount to actually repay what you've actually got. Because if you start getting multiple loans, that's when things can spiral out of control very, very badly. I've got a feeling that we were building this, aren't we? Yeah. We need this built as well so that we can get the fuel line into here. We don't need the efficiencies from the water supply at the moment. Now, the other priority job that we've got going is this. We really need to get this operational for the first year. Now, one thing I have noticed during the winter is we've now starting to get a lot more biological waste in here. We've got a new truck here. We've also got a new vehicle as well. So what I'm hoping is that we can get more and more fertilizer into there. Now we have got a new truck. It's a NATO truck. And it's over here. I think it's called the Whites. Yeah, we've got a white truck here. This came in 1914. You can see it will carry 4.5 tons of gravel. And it's got a top speed of 25 kilometers an hour. Now, the interesting thing also, I don't know if this one or I sort by start production. You see, I've also accumulated a couple of vehicles that shouldn't be here. It says 1917. These are Model Ts. But at the moment, not that interesting. What I will check is we got no harvester. So we're stuck because we're going to need to get a harvester here. Yeah, these are train truck things. So we got here. Now, one thing I want to do with these sweepers, as you can see here, is I want to see if these carry on collecting gravel during the summer. And of course, basically what that means is if it carries on collecting gravel through the summer, what they're really doing is picking up the horse apples. But of course, there are no classification for horse apples in the game at the moment. Right, so we have got over 21s, so I want to kind of include some accommodation because we're going to expand out here. We've got the incinerator out here, which is kind of being built as well, but it's not high priority at the moment. We've built this here. This is going to be mixed waste in for the moment. And of course, with an incinerator, it's very important that you set the directionality here. The reason for that is that the output of an incinerator, if I can find it here, is mixed waste. So if you don't set the directionality with an incinerator, what will happen is the mixed waste that's coming out will get pushed back to there. So you end up with an infinite cycle. So when you're working with incinerators, it's very important that you actually have a directionality there. So that is there. I think, as I say, I want workforce coming into here, but I don't want to be too close to that. Look at the pollution. Yeah, see, the pollution pushes out there. But we've got a eternal flame here. I don't think this... I've got a feeling we're going to have to move this dump. But I think what I'd like to do is we'll get in some historical... I'd like... some ways I'd like 2 buildings here. Yeah, I think if we can squish in maybe actually I could get 2 in here side by side. They've all got power, water. It's not shown whether they got heating though. So these don't show heating. Let's just see. Oh, they should be in range. Are these self-heating? No, they're not. It's not shown that they're cold. But they've got no hot water tanks. A bit confused with that, but I'm going to take it. I'm not sure. It could be the fact that these don't show. Some buildings don't actually show that they've got a water tank connection. I mean, these do, I think, don't they? Yeah, you've got water tank connection. Oops, I keep forgetting to do this. It's something that's very important, especially in the early game. Okay, anyway. We're going to do that there. But what we'll do is we'll build in one of these. We need to get those built first. We'll leave that in there. Got a problem with culture. Where's the opera house? Okay, the opera house is overloaded. Okay. I think what we need to do is put an opera house over here because this is expanding. So if we put another cultural building down here, cinema. Wow, that's big. Is there anything that's slightly smaller that only has 30 people in? Say I put the cinema there. How much does this cost to build? I think we will put a cinema here. Actually, if we put it there, it's going to be in range of all these buildings, isn't it? Yeah, I think if we put you about there, and then we're okay, we'll put you there, and we'll build a gravel footpath out to there. And we will, I think we need that built, and then that will support this over here. Okay, so it's an unexpected expense. How are we doing here? I think we're gonna high prioritize that. I need this all built in by the time we've got this going. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of one of these things. I'll just scrap you, I think. Don't think you're going to be much use. Let me just see. So we got this working here. These guys are coming in here. We can create a little bit of unemployment. I'm not going to start working on our construction industry until we've got rid of the snow. Let's get back over to here. Where is the fuel pickup? How are we doing here? Got plenty of fuel. Oh, it's above ground. Okay. That's okay, because we're not going to build this out here. That's an auto connection. I think above ground actually uses less steel, actually. So we could possibly just do a test, actually. This is 100 tons of steel. If we remove you and then run push up the E, we can get it. Can This is one of the reasons why I don't really like elevated pipelines. See, this is 102 because we had to kind of divert a little bit. I don't think there's a lot in it, to be honest, and I actually prefer the underground pipelines. So this is 102 as well, but it's direct. So there's not much difference between an above ground and an underground pipeline, beyond the fact that these are can get in the way, actually. Okay, let's try this one. This is above ground. It needs 30 tons of steel. So if we demolish you and then we go underground, that's 32 tons of steel. So underground is marginally more expensive, but get you guys. I'm gonna need some more trucks, actually, to try and get this going. We got some money. What I'm gonna do here is we're gonna need we get 2 more steam bulldozers, and we're gonna get 2 more dumpers for these guys, just to try and get a little bit of momentum there. Because, as I say, we've got a lot of roads and stuff to build out here. Okay, this is now finished, so we can make these connections here. We'll push you out that way. Build that there. Wow, didn't realize I built a road out this far. Right, so let's get back over to here. Oh yeah, one thing I did forget to do over here. Actually, we just yep. So these do work during the day or during the summer, and what these guys do is actually just collect all the horse apples. But that, because there's no horse apple in there, in fact, it'd be quite neat if these were actually just picking up fertilizer or compost instead of gravel. But now, one mistake I made over here is the fact that I didn't put a cargo drop off here. The problem now is This is going to be a bit tight. Can we get a 4 in? It's not going to get in there, but we might better get something in this corner. Will that work? Opposite, yeah, that's connected. That's good. Try and get that built. This is finished now. What we're going to do is rename this Crawley Farm Crop Select. Oops, no. Yep. Load. Just set these up. Any more? Oops, missed that one. Does make the order. And I think what we'll do is I'll set you drop off here as well. Unload. Rename you Crawley Crop. Actually, we'll call it Factory Crop Drop. And I think what I would like to do is change the order, drag you to the top so I can see you. Set you to 90% or 100%. 90% is probably good enough. What I most likely will do is change this one eventually and then get this one to drop off there or there as and when we go. So we now got the harvest running. I suppose that could. Well, we're not going to drop off fertilizer just at the moment because we got quite a lot of fertilizer here, and these guys are taking. We can drop the fertilizer, so we are getting enough biological waste now to start putting this together. Get the ground crew working on this. Right, loyalty's too low. This loyalty is really starting to bug me. We need to start thinking about bringing this online as well. But at the same time, I don't want to push too hard. Once we got this finished, and I'll be quite happy to push a little bit harder. But I want this farm operational this year. If that cuts our costs down, we're going to make profit because we've got to offset the steel. Now comes the fun. Actually, I'm just going to check over here first. See how things are going here. How are we doing? I think we're get a few more of these working on it. These as well. Get you all working on that. And right, we've got our people in here, no jobs. Can you actually get? No, you can't get over there. So our unemployment is now 68. But it does mean that we're getting more workers in here to actually drive our production. Is this connected now? All right, this has now got fuel. This means that you guys can pick up fuel, and we don't need to pick up fuel from there. Now, who's exporting? Okay, we got free distribution office here that we don't need. That can go because it's just confusing the issue. And what we got here is export. Right. Now these guys can also go from here as well. And remove you. I don't think you're going to have... I mean, we got 500 tons of fuel in here, so we want to try and make some money from it. What it means is that we'll now have a shorter distance for our actual exports. Okay. Just check the... we are going to need to keep an eye on that. What we'll probably have to do is build a incinerator right out here. I think it'd be far enough away from town to avoid pollution. Let's get back here. Yep, 25 tons of steel. Right, so what we're going to do now is come back over to here. And I want to start working on our kind of construction industry. Now, I was looking at this just before I started. And I'll be completely upfront, I'm a little bit disappointed because the only in-game gravel processing, and it produces quite a lot. I mean, it does for 5 workers. It produces a lot of gravel. The downside is it has no input, which means it's pretty close to useless because it can only import 10 tons of quarried stone, which means that for this to work at this point in the game, we're going to have to push this really close to here. But at the same time, it's only got 2 drop-offs. So this is going to be pretty inefficient. So I'm wondering whether it's worth building a full-sized industry. The trouble is... Oh, sorry about this. We come in here. This says modern industry. Now, if we go to research, modern industry, come down. I know where it is when I see it. Modern industry won't be until 1958. What I'm going to do is we're going to go with the flow and kind of play with this. I mean this takes us right back to the early days of the game. So we're going to build this, but what we're going to have to do is build this in really close to here, like that. And what we're going to need to do is put a gas station directly opposite. And what we're going to need to do is set up manual routes which will go up to here, load up with gravel and deliver directly to there. The problem's going to be is the congestion of unloading into here. So effectively what we'll have to have is 1 truck on here, 1 truck on that. Now the production from these quarries says maximum number of workers. Well, we won't use workers, but it doesn't really tell us. It says maximum daily production per worker, 3.5 tons of quarried stone. So we're not really going to get a vast quantity of gravel from here, which is going to be a pain, and it's going to be very, very difficult to manage. And what we're going to do is put you there. Try and keep the conveyor as short as possible. So we can build this in here. We're going to have to drop the workers off here directly. Or the alternative is we're going to have to put a bus stop in here. Now, the next question is it going to be worth building a full-blown infrastructure here? So, or are we just going to use this as a gravel kind of collection point? See, my instinct is to put a gravel plant in here. Actually, yeah, I've just had a thought. If I put this is asphalt. I think asphalt would be. See, we're not really going to produce need a lot of asphalt at the moment, but it does crop up quite a lot in buildings. So if we put an asphalt plant there, now what I do have is we go to factories. I put in bitumen. This is a bitumen gravel press. Well, no, it's factory. Let me just see here. Gonna have to find it. Concrete mixing, landfill. Okay, guys, welcome back. I've finally found it, and what I've got is this wood pitch extractor. And what this does is it actually produces wood pitch from a cut from trees. You can see here. You see it says 30 tons of. So what we'd have to do is put you in there. Now this produces 3 tons of fuel of bitumen. So what we'd have to do is come here with the pipeline. Actually, let's just remove that, move it over a bit. So what we'd have to do is put you in about there. Actually, put you about there. Oops, go underground here. Run. Oops, thank you. Oops, cancel. Run you to there. And then we get back to the asphalt plant. And we'll put the asphalt plant about there. And then we'll go underground here. Connect you up there like that. And of course what that will mean is that, so we're kind of building up a little bit of a industrial area here, but of course what we're going to need now is we're going to need an open store here. Actually, we put it that way round, like that. Put you in about like that. Now, of course, another reason for building this is that reduces the distance we've got to haul things. And then what we're going to need here is a wood cutting post. We'll put a wood cutting post about there. Actually, we'll put it about there. Let's see if we can push it out a bit further, actually. And then you can come in to there. So what we got now, if we put a road out past here like that, so we now got an asphalt plant, Now the concrete plant is going to be a little bit just as difficult. We've got this concrete plant here. So we'd have to... Now this needs water. This just gets more and more complicated by the moment, doesn't it? What's the storage for the concrete plant? Needs 20 tons of cement. Let me just put this here. I think we'll put the concrete plant in about like that. We'll break up this road a bit. Put that there. Where's the... Yeah, so we can put a silo there, and then that... The trouble is to make cement, coal, and I don't really want to invest the money. This is a bit of an over-investment already with what we've got. So I think we may have to import the cement in the short term. So I think we're going to go with that. For there, so that would give us asphalt, concrete, and gravel. What I would like, if possible, we could get it in here. Conveyor. It's going to be a little bit odd, but I think I'd rather have... If we got them unloading, we don't want them loading. So this is going to be a little bit odd. So we have to put it like that. Actually, if I change this road a bit, I mean, we haven't committed to building it as such yet. So if I push you like that, give you that square bit there. So we got a kind of haphazard basic construction industry here, which will cut some of our costs down. Not that, I mean, what we're probably... So we got this here. I'll probably put another... I think I'm a bit inclined to put another junction down here, because we do need to push this through. Also, if we're going to... Although technically to upgrade the track, although we can't upgrade the track at the moment because we haven't done the research. But if we're going to build track, we're going to need to think a little bit about putting something in here, like a coaling station. Something I've not really looked at yet. Wow, that's big, way too big. So we'd have to put something like that in. For the trains to go into. Or the alternative is we go in like that. Of course we got no steel. Anyway, we just finished some research. Shipbuilding. I think that now finishes off all our research. What we got here? Oh, it looks like we've got a white 5-ton oil tanker. Now that could be useful, because it's a long way away from where we probably would want to use it. Let me just check the research. That's it. We've got no more research to do. And we got here, got 1/21 at the moment. We need this built as a priority. How many jobs have you got? Okay, you're just doing maintenance. How many jobs? Yeah. Get you on that. Any of these advanced to the point? Okay, you need workers, but you're doing okay. But I think we could probably press you into helping a little bit with that. And maybe that. When another little bit of oil coming in would help. Because our economy at the moment, we are exporting 35 tons a month. It's not brilliant, but it's making a difference. Because of course the thing that's killing us is steel. See, gravel is really, really cheap. Crops is something else that we need to kind of worry about. Right, we've now built that. That's now built as well. Those factory drop. Right, we're going to drop you now and put you onto here. You're going to load, unload there. Again, we're just going to change the order, pull you up to the top there. Oops, no. Oh, well, okay. Do that again. Obviously, I didn't do that right. Crawley, drop. Oops. Okay. Right, we're going to need we need some harvesters now, because we're on the 23rd of April. We've got time for this, but I do really want to have the harvesters in. So I'm going to come in here. We're going to get 1, 2, 3, 4. I think we're going to get 5 harvesters. We're going to get rid of you. You can. Oops, where are you? Lost it. You can go there. We can, and then what I'm going to do is, where's the farm? Covered hole by capacity. Right, see if we can make some money. I don't really want to take out another loan. We just spent a fortune on vehicles, but I don't think there's much I can do about it. And say the key thing with this, when you're at this point in the game, is not to get impatient. Take your time. Right, we've got gas station here, which that can wait for the moment. What's that there? There's a little bit of road that's not finished. That needs to be done. You guys don't have anything to do, so you can go there. I think what we will do is get the road crew working on that. See if we've got any fertilizer in it. Oh wow, you've nearly got a full complement of fertilizer. Right. You. We're not going to worry about that just at the moment. We might as well get on there if there's a surplus fertilizer. Okay, we've virtually used up all the fertilizer here. That's okay. What I will do is we're going to steal some of these and get you over to here to save us a little bit of money. Back over to here. How are we doing over here? Well, right, we've got This guy's waiting for asphalt. Wait. Okay, we'll get the ground crew working on that is interesting, but because seeing you're only delivering concrete and all that, I think we can get the groundworks done on that. But at the same time, we need to fill in some of these. Right, these guys are kind of working flat out. I don't really want to blow all my money. That's the thing. Patience is the thing. One thing I do need here, though, I have noticed, is we need a gas station, but where to put it? We need a gas station here. I think we're going to put the gas station about here. The reason I'm putting a gas station here is I've noticed that I've had trucks wandering off up to, where is it? Here. I think we've done enough leveling through here, haven't it? So these trucks are, these guys are wasted now. Let's pull them back to here. I can always send them back out again should I need it. In fact, probably don't need the demolish you. Where is the... Right, just going to trim out this bit of road here. I think we'll just leave that here because eventually we'll get the construction guys coming out here. So having this free gas station here would be quite useful. We've got this pump here, no input connections. This connection is built. How much? This is coming along quite nicely, and this needs a little bit of a shove. How are we doing? Well, we got 37 over 21s. I don't want you sat around doing nothing. I know, even if you're unemployed. Right, let me just get back over to here. How are we doing? I think we can get these guys working on this now, so we can fix the culture problem, reconstruction and process, I think, again. We need people working on this so we can finish the footpath, because we don't have a roller yet. In fact, it's going to be a very long time before we get a roller. How are we doing here? Actually, this is wrong. This is wrong. Where's the... Yeah, this is wrong. There's no point drawing from the actual quarry. Get rid of you. We need to draw from here. Actually, can I be a bit sneaky? This is going to be the small aggregate store. Where is the actual... Okay, we got this out of here. Actually, if I could... If I get you... Oh, that would be really good. If I could get you in there. That's even better. Because you can pull directly from the gravel. We got concrete there, so we got a little bit of a collection point there. See, this is the part of the bottleneck, is the fact that we got this kind of a little bit of here. I think what we're going to do is... Where's this free distribution office? Is there? Do I have spaces for How's my road crews here? Okay, these are all coming here, but we got 3 heavy steamers here which are doing nothing. Okay, whoa, these are all flaming at the same time. Okay, that's all under control. That's good. Right, we got 2 there. What I'm going to do is we're going to blow some money, but we're already on the 18th of May, so covered holes capacity. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're good to go there. Right, I'm aware that I'm running out of time on this video, and we've kind of done a lot of things, but the trouble is we're perpetually queuing up all this stuff here, which is a bit of a pain in the neck. I really do need to catch up on some of these jobs, but what I want to do is see if we can get this finished so we can fix the culture problem, and then that should lift our spirits a little bit, might improve the happiness, because yeah, we've got 777 people who don't enjoy culture. So this will, and that's, if I come here, that's dragging our happiness down by 0.6%. Actually, while that's going on, let's just check our courthouse is still working. Got a little bit of crime, and okay. Right, so we've now built this up. I think the cinema was lying to us, wasn't it? I don't know. I'll get a few more workers into there, and we'll get everyone enjoying culture. Ah, that reminds me. If I come over to here, we need another store. Question is, where are we going to put it? This, okay, we got a new vehicle here. We got a white 5-ton. See, these white 5 tons can be useful. In fact, I think that looks like a covered hole. Let me just go and check that out. Yeah, see, this is 25 kilometers an hour. But it's, so we could, the trouble's going to be is getting them from there to over here where we actually need them or could use them. We got a store there. We got a kind of rambling footpath here which we're not using, so if I remove you, it doesn't really go anywhere. What I want to do, see, we've got a store here, but if we have an earthquake and that store collapses, the whole economy collapses. So what I want to do is we're going to put a corner store in here, right on this corner. Actually, is this the, this is V2? Let me just flip that round. We're going to put you something like that. You cover most of the city. We can't cover all of the city, but I want to get in maybe like that. There's some kind of Bockamani footpath connection. And then we're gonna, this road's gonna come out like that. And then we're gonna put a warehouse. What store we use? Tudor warehouse, yep. So going to put put a Tudor warehouse here. And again, it's not high priority, but now I've said that, we'll probably have an earthquake. Right, Tech University. Just going to got this here. How's this going? This needs to be high priority, and we're going to put you on there as well. How are we doing here? Yep, so we just need all the workers out here as much as possible. Get this done. If we get this done, we're a tiny little bit more oil flowing into here. Right, I want to see if the show you that the farm's working, because obviously I want to push through to 1915. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut the video here, and I'll come back as this is built and as also when our harvest starts. So I'll see you once this is up and running, just to show you, and then of course what we can do is start pushing out this way. So I'll see you in a minute. Okay, welcome back. We are just about to connect up this, and that will get this oil rig. Well, I'm going to say it's not producing that much oil, but it will start. I mean, this will give a little bit of a surge because this was full, and of course you can see it will drop back down again. So what we're going to do now is pick up these guys. Let's say in many ways the oil getting this up and running is probably a little bit more important than the rest of the things here, because the more oil we can produce and export, the easier it's going to be is to save us money. So that is done there. We've got to build in this here. Of course we need to get this sorted over time, but this is being built. This is good. Back to here. You can see our farms are now operating, and of course we're on the 10th of June. Looks like we've built this bit here, which is good. We're building in our construction industry here, so we're probably going to need to pick up put some waste disposal in this area as well. Again, another problem that you can run into is the fact that in the early game these waste trucks are not exactly the fastest ones around, so it can cause a bit of a problem. In fact, I just want to flip over here. Do we have some reasonable waste trucks? Let's see what we got in the way of waste trucks. Waste truck. No. These guys are, I mean, what they're carrying is minute. Anyway, I'm going to cut the video again here simply because we're basically waiting, because I want to show you the farm getting started so that we can get a few things done. So I'll be back once we start our harvest. One thing I will need to do is flip these guys to unload. Let me just see. Actually, I think what I will do, see, I'm doing this every year. Put this to the top. Put this to the top. And we'll flip you to unload. Just makes it that little bit easier. Right, I'll see you once the harvest starts, and well, assuming nothing else happens. So I'll see you in a little while. Okay, welcome back for this final update for this video, and you can see we've now started the harvest here, and we've got some maybe this isn't such a good idea, but you can see we've now got harvesters going there. Really need another drop-off point on this side, but it won't make that much difference. But you can see we're now going to start to get crops dropped off into here, which will mean eventually these guys will eventually start to come down here and collect the crops. If they don't, what we can do is set this to drop off here. Actually, we'll get them to drop off to there, unload. I mean, in theory, they should go to here first, but now what's happening here is the fact that we've got the 2 trucks in here, which are dropping off to here. So we can start to drop off there, and of course what we've got over here also is we've got the crops starting to flow into here and down into here. So what this should do now is offset some of our costs with respect to producing food and alcohol and clothes in this area, because of course all those crops, nice crops, are going to be turned into things here. What we've got to do is just where is it? We need to build that and that. Now what I've done up here is I've put a bus stop in and a fire station, because we're going to need to protect this area with respect to what we actually need to do. We've got these guys here. I think we can start to, these guys are working on factory connections, but I think you can now start working on these. Okay, because this just needs mechanical components dropped onto it. So actually, oh, the other thing I realized is that we're going to need to bring power into here. So I've started the process of bringing the power into here, which is going to be useful because this will actually provide the power up to here as well. So we've got to start powering this area as well. I think what we will do is get our base groundworks crews working on that. We've also got the gas station here. Let me just see. Yes. I think we'll get the groundworks crews working on that and that as well, so that we can, I mean, eventually we're going to need buses coming into here that we spent a little bit on. So anyway, this is where I'm going to leave it. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Hope you found it interesting. What I will do, because we've just got such a massive backlog of work to do, what I'm going to do is play right through until March 1915, and hopefully we'll catch up with some of the work here, simply because it's, yeah, well, I've just got nothing to say. Anyway, this is where I'm going to leave it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you found it interesting. And until next time, whatever you do, enjoy your gaming.